आवाज येतोय का माझा? हॅलो? हॅलो? Am I audible
Miss,
to everyone? Do you see the screen? As I shared the screen already, the screen is visible to you or not? Please tell me.
yes, Miss.
Okay, so one day before I have posted the one video, Unit 5 Part 1 into the Google Classroom. I think all of you watch the video of Unit 5 Part 1. Uh, after in that Unit 5 Part 1, the basic concepts of the inheritance, what do you mean by inheritance, what are the different types of inheritance, how to define the subclass, the all things, basic things related to inheritance are covered in the first part, and that I have already posted into the Google Classroom one day before. If you if you not seen that particular video, please first of all you watch the video of part 1, and today we see the concept of interfaces. As in the first part, I have already told you that the Java do not support the concept of the multiple inheritance, and that's why Java do not support the multiple inheritance, means you cannot directly implement the concept of multiple inheritance. So instead of that, you can use the new concept, and that concept is called as the interface. Means with the help of this interface, you can implement the multiple inheritance. In case of the multiple inheritance, the class which is inherited from more than one superclass, and this is not allow in case of the Java programming language, and that's why if you want to implement, you can use the concept of interface. So what do you mean by the interface? The interface is basically a kind of class, and the means it is very similar to the kind of class, it is very similar to the syntax of class, and the general syntax to define the interface is as follows: interface, interface name, then opening brace and closing brace. Within these two braces, the variables and the methods are declared. So interface is the reserved word, interface is the keyword, and that interface tells the compiler that you are going to define the interface. Interface name is any valid, it is just like any valid variable name, the name of interface, just like the valid variable name. Very similar syntax to the class. If a class, then you instead of interface you use the class and class name. Similarly, in case of interface, interface, interface name, and the number of variables and the methods that you require for that particular interface. Interface name is already I told you the valid variable name, and how the variables are declared in case of the interfaces. This is the syntax. You see the syntax. uh, Static final, data type, variable name equal to value. Final means if you declare the particular variable as a final, means you cannot change the value of that variable, means it will be treated just like the constant. Then any valid data type, variable name equal to the value. So this is the format to declare the variables in case of the interface. Note that all the variables are declared as the final, and method declaration will contain only the list of method without any body, as follows. How the method will be declared with this syntax? See the line, bottom line, return type means any valid data type, method name, and into the bracket parameter list means the list of variables that you want to pass to the particular method. This is the example of interface. Interface, interface name, interface is the reserved word, item is the name of interface, and into that body of interface I have declared the two variables icode and iname. See, the I have declared that variables as a static final, static final. This final word is very important for the variable declaration in case of interface. And just I assign the value 100 to the item code and value TV to the item name, and one method, display method. Remember that you just declare the method, do not define the method here, only declare. What are the major differences between the class and interface? So in case of the interface, interface defines only the abstract method and final fields. You see that the abstract method and the final variables. In case of the class, it is not compulsory for the variables to declare all the variables as a final. This means that interface do not specify any code for the method and data field, and it contains only the constant. As I declared here the particular variable as a final, it becomes the constant. Means you cannot change the value of I code from 100 to any new value, 200, 300 or 400. You cannot change because you are declaring that particular variable as a final, means a constant. Now, it is the responsibility of class that implements the interface to define this method. See here, in case of the example, just I have declared the method display but not define. So, who will define this method? The class which implements this particular interface will define the method. Now the next point is that extending interfaces. Like the classes in the first video, I have already taught you how to extend the classes in case of the inheritance. Similarly, you can also extend the interfaces. Means in case of inheritance, we can extend the classes. Similarly, you can also extend the interfaces. So how to extend the interfaces with this syntax? Interface, that is the reserved word, keyword, then the new interface, item 1, extends old interface, item 2. Means you have already a old interface and you are going to inherit that old interface into the new interface. Means the first interface is the new interface and the second interface is the old interface that is already available to you. Okay, and this is the body of not item 2, this is the body of item 1. By mistake here I write the item 2, but it is item 1, body of item 1. Here all constant and methods from interface item 1 are available in the interface item 2, and we'll inherit all the members of super interface. Very similar to the inheritance, it inherits all the methods, all the properties, variables of the super interface into the sub interface. This is the example. With this example, you will get clear idea about the interface. Here, I first of all declare the item constant as a interface item constant, and into that just I have declaring only the final variables, final I code and final I name. In the second interface, I separate the display method and put it into the item method interface. So in item method interface, just I have write here only the display method, declare only the display method. So after that, I extend the interfaces. Interface item extends item constants, item methods. Means these item constants, and after the extends reserved word keyword, all the interfaces are the old interfaces. Means item constants and item methods are the old interfaces, and this one item is the new interface. When an interface extends two or more interfaces, they are separated with the commas. Yes, obviously. Here I am using more than one interface to extend item constants and item methods, and so I separate these classes with the comma. An interface cannot extend the classes. Remember that this is very important. Interface only extends the interface, but interface cannot extend the class. This is very important. This may be there may be the possibility of asking the question as a MCQ question. So you remember this point. Now, after extending the interface, how to implement the interface? Because if you want to implement a multiple inheritance, then in that case, you must have to implement the interface. Interfaces are used as a super classes whose properties are inherited by classes. Okay, you remember that the in case of implementing the interfaces, always the interfaces are acts as a superclasses, and which properties are inherited by the classes. Therefore, it is necessary to create a class that inherit the given interface. So how to implement the interface? The syntax is class, class name, implements, interface name. Okay, class name, this is the new class that you are going to create, and you are just implementing the interface into the newly created class. Then the body of its own class. The general syntax to implement an interface is as follows: class, class name, extends superclass, implements interface one, interface two. See here, the first one is also the syntax of implementing the interface, but in the second syntax here I have also used the concept of inheritance plus implementation of inheritance. See here, class name extend superclass means up to this I have just used the concept of inheritance. Superclass name means old class, and class name, sorry, the class name means uh, subclass or the new class. So up to this part, superclass, just I have inheriting the superclass into the subclass, and that implements the two interfaces, interface one and interface two. And this is the body of class. And in the body of this class, we have to define the display method, because this is the responsibility of this new class that you are going to create for the implementation of interface. And this shows that a class can extend another class while implementing the other interfaces. Clear? And the concept of interface or this topic is over here. So what we have learned about the interfaces, the definition of interfaces, then how the interfaces are declared, then how the interfaces are extends, and the last one is how to implement the interfaces. Okay. Now the next point is that again, one small applications I have given here. The program that demonstrate the concept of interface. Okay, here I have taken the one interface area, and into that I have taken one variable declaration and one method declaration. Static float final pi equal to 3.14f. This is the variable. This is a final variable, and this is one of the method. This method should be end with the semicolon. You compute float x, float y, and you just declare the method here, but not define the method. And the next is the class rectangle implements the area. And see here, the class, new class, that is the rectangle. This is the responsibility of that class which implements the area to define the method. See here, here I have declared only the method, but in the class I have defined the method. Okay. So how to define the compute method? A public float compute, float x, float y. These are the two parameters that I have already declared at the time of declaration also. Return x into y. Class, sorry, rectangle area x into y. Okay. For class circle implements area. The area of circle is pi r square. So I use here the formula pi into x into x. So this is the implementation of interface area into the two different classes, rectangle and circle. And this is your main class. Why it is a main class? Because the main method is available into this class, and that's why it is a main class. Public class interface demo. Into that, the main signature is there, and I have created the objects of both the classes, rectangle R and circle C. Okay. System.out.println, and just I call the method compute with the println statement. Area of rectangle is plus C, compute 20 comma 30. What is C? C is the object of circle, and sorry, exactly reverse here. Here instead of C, the R is correct. R dot compute, because R is the object of rectangle. By mistake here I just interchange both the objects C and R. So you remember that area of rectangle is equal to plus R dot compute. R, because R is the rectangle, R is the object of rectangle. What happens? The control is directly jump to the area of rectangle. So, and directly the value 20 and 30 will be copied to the X and Y, and it will be written X into Y. To the area of rectangle. What is plus? Plus is the concatenation symbol. As I have already told you that plus is the concatenation symbol, and that value will be concatenated with your message. The area of circle is again here C. You consider the C dot compute, because the object of circle is C. So C dot compute 8 comma 0. Why I use here 0? Because I require only the one parameter for the radius, and that's why here I have assigned the value 0 to the another parameter, and the value of X, that will be the value 8 will be copied to the X, and it will be calculated 3.14 into 8 into 8 pi r square, and that value will be returned to area of circle is statement with this statement. Okay. So now you clear the concept of interface. Just you define the interface first, then you create the classes that implements the interface, and after that you just write the main class for the main method. Okay, clear? Hello, are you understood the topic of interface? Yes or no? Please unmute the mic. Hello.
Yes, Miss.
Okay. Now the next topic is wrapper classes. What do you mean by the wrapper classes? And this is the most favorite question on the wrapper class is that write a short note on wrapper classes in a Java. In every question paper, the question is asked on this topic, write a short note or what are the various wrapper classes. What do you mean by the wrapper classes? You remember that the wrapper classes in Java provides the mechanism to convert the primitive type into the object and vice versa. All of you know that in Java there are the 8 different built-in data types, and that built-in data types are called as the primitive types. And with the help of wrapper classes, the primitive data types are converted into the objects, and also the objects are converted into the primitive data types. And this job is done by the wrapper classes. As in Java there are the 8 primitive data types: byte, short, int, long, float, double, char, boolean. These are the various primitive data types, and the wrapper classes are used for converting these primitive data types into the objects. Okay, these classes and the examples are the integer, then character, float. All these are the wrapper classes. And where these wrapper classes are available? These wrapper classes are available in the package java.lang. 8 classes of java.lang package are known as the wrapper classes. See, in the table, all these primitive data types are in the first column, and corresponding wrapper classes are in the second column. It's a very simple to keep in your mind. Now, according to the data type, you just remember the word. The only difference is that in case of the wrapper class, the first letter is capital letter. See here, Boolean, the B is small, but in case of the wrapper class, the B is capital. Similarly, for char, the whole word for the wrapper class, character, and the C is capital. And very similar to all other data types: byte, short, int, long, float, and double. So according to the primitive data types, all are the wrapper classes. Okay, and these are the two different tables that shows you how to convert the primitive data type into the object. Why object, or why the objects? Because the objects are, why the objects? Because the everything in Java is in the form of objects, because the Java is called as the pure object oriented language, and that's why Java accepts everything in the form of objects. And that's why you need to convert the primitive data type into the object, and also from object into the primitive data type. These are the various methods. The first method is int val, then float val, double val, long val, and the corresponding data types are integer, float, double, and long. is equal to new integer. See here, this integer is the wrapper class. Integer is the wrapper class for int data type, and this method converts the primitive integer into the primitive object. Similarly, the float val equal to new float. The primitive float value is converted into the primitive object. Double val, the uh, double value is converted into the primitive object, and here long value. Just here you consider the double and the long due to the copy and paste. Just I forget to make the corrections here according to the double. Here primitive double to primitive object, and primitive long to primitive object. Okay. And similarly, the same case in the second table also. And the second table shows the methods that converts the reverse object to primitive. The first table shows you the data type into the object, and second table is a vice versa methods, means convert the object into the primitive data type. So the first we will see only the first method, and similarly all the methods. Int I equal to int val dot int value. The object integer is converted into the primitive integer. Int val dot int value dot float value dot double value dot long value. All these are the built-in methods which are available into the LNG package with corresponding to their wrapper classes. Int val dot int value, float val, double val dot double value, long val dot long value. And similarly, all these methods are convert object float to primitive float, object double to primitive double, and object long to the primitive long. Now the next point is the reflection. What do you mean by the reflection? Most of the time, this topic is also a popular topic for the question paper setters. What do you mean by the reflection, or write a short note on the reflection class? You remember that reflection is nothing but reflection is just the process of examining or modifying the runtime behavior of class. Means you just examine at the runtime, you examine the behavior of that particular class. The required classes for the reflection are provided under which package? java.lng.reflect, and there may be the possibility of asking the MCQ question. All the reflection classes are methods classes are available into the package java.lng.reflect. Reflection gives us the information about the class to which object belongs, and also the methods of the class that are executed by the object. You only remember that with the help of this reflection at runtime, we can know that what are the various objects of the corresponding classes, and which object belongs to which class, and what are the different methods that belongs to the particular object and particular class, that you should know at runtime with the help of the reflection. Okay. Now the reflection can be used to get the information about for what purpose we use the reflection. So with the help of this reflection, we can get the following information: class, constructor, and methods. With the help of this get class method, that get class method is used to get the name of class to which an object belongs. Means if you want to retrieve the name of class, then in that situation you have to use the get class method. Then get constructor method is used to get the constructor of the class which that belongs to the particular object. And similarly, get methods, it extracts, it retrieves the methods of the class to which the particular object belongs. So you remember that get class, get constructor, and get method, these are the three various methods to get the details of class, to get the details of constructor, and to get the details of methods. So all these information we can get with the help of the reflection. Okay. In short, the reflection allows us to inspect and manipulate the classes, interfaces, constructor methods, and the fields at runtime. In short, you remember the last statement. Okay. Now the next, again, there may be the possibility to write a short note on the class. See here, there is a difference between the class. This is our general class, and this is the reflection class. The C must be capital letter. Class. There is no mistake. This is our general class word, and this is the reflection class. C must be capital here. You note down. There is a class in Java named class that keeps all the information about the objects and classes at runtime. So what this particular class consists of? This particular class consists of the information about the objects and classes at runtime. Means at runtime, what are the different kinds of the classes and objects that are going to be under the inspection of the reflection. That will you have to know. The object of class can be used to perform the reflection. Java.lng.class provides many methods that can be used to get the metadata, examine, change the runtime behavior. Metadata means what? Data about data. This dot class is the one of the built-in class, reflection class, and that is generally used to get the information. Metadata means data about data. The data about the class, data about the constructor, data about the method, and that's why the metadata word is used here. The java.lng and java.lng reflect packages provide the classes for the Java reflection. Miss, you only remember that the LNG package. The LNG package is generally used for the reflection topic or for the reflection concept. Means all the reflection related methods, objects, classes are available under the LNG package. Java.lng.reflect. Java is the name of language, LNG is the package, and reflect is the name of class. Java.lng.class performs mainly the two tasks. It provides the methods to get the metadata of class, and also it provides to examine and change the runtime behavior of class. You remember that this class is generally used to get the data about data at the runtime. Okay, and these are the various method. Just in short, I explain you. These are the various methods of the reflection. Public string get name. Get name means what? Get means to extract. It returns the name of class. Then public static class for a name. Class is the data type. For name means it loads the class and return the reference of class. It returns the reference of class means this class is different than this class. This is the reference of reflection class. It returns. Then next method is a new instance. It just create a new instance, means just like the object. Then next method is a is interface. It checks if it is an interface or not and returns either true or false. If it is interface, it returns true. Otherwise, it returns the false. Is array, again same thing. It checks if it is the array or not. Boolean is primitive. This method checks if it is the primitive. Means it checks that given is the primitive data type or not. If yes, it returns true. Otherwise, it returns false. Get superclass. It returns the superclass class reference. Okay, superclass class reference. Then next one is the get declared field. If you want to know that how many total number of fields available into that particular class, then you should use the get declared field so that you can get the total number of fields. Get declared. Understand any one of the topic or any one of the statement, you can just revise the video or the PPTs. काही प्रॉब्लेम आहेत का? हॅलो.